for being here. My name is Isodi Geiger, and I'm the Executive Director for Ethos Literacy. Welcome to our 4th annual New Words, New Voices performance. Today's performance is so very special to me and the staff because as we watch each reader perform their piece, we're not just seeing a final project, but a year or years worth of hard work and progress. We're seeing the full blossom of achievement for individuals who've worked so hard to overcome personal obstacles. We're seeing the personification of pride, confidence, and triumph. We know that once you hear their words, you'll feel some indescribable change in yourself. All I can say is welcome to our world. And before I go on, I would like to thank my staff. So in the back is my program director, tech stage person, our program director, Cindy Ketchum. Our administrative assistant, Meg Peralta Silva. And Alma Delgado, she is our student intake curriculum coordinator. These ladies have worked so hard because not only are we doing this performance, it's our year of end. So we're collecting numbers, we're getting reports ready, and we just stopped. Our hair was on fire not too long ago. We stopped the fire. We all dressed up and we look pretty darn good. I love them. Thank you, ladies. Before we begin, I'd also like to give thanks to, of course, our students, because without them, there is no Ethos Literacy. I'd like to also give thanks to our tutors because, wow, once again, there aren't enough words to describe the amount of work that goes into what our tutors do and the things that we ask them. It's as if we pay them, and we don't. So thank you all for the time, the energy, the commitment, the love. We couldn't do this without any of you as well. To our board members, I see our founder. Margaret, would you please stand up because I always do this and you always just love it so much. I'd also like to thank the City of Albuquerque and the Urban Enhancement Trust Fund, the National Endowment of the Arts, New Mexico Arts. I'd also like to give a special thanks to the New Mexico Higher Education Department, the staff here at Fusion, Leah, Dennis, and Braxton, and our videographer, Caleb Shoup. For those of you who don't know what we do, simply stated, Ethos Literacy tutors adults in reading, writing, and English language acquisition. Yet we are so much more. 8 years ago, we started a student newspaper called New Words. I was going to give it another name. New Words. The idea was to give our students an opportunity to improve their reading through creative writing. This could have been stories, poems, jokes, recipes, essays. We didn't know where we were going with this project, or I think I should probably say where we would be led. Not only have our students' reading improved, but through their writing exercises, their confidence has increased. They have agency over their words that just a few years ago, some may not have been able to read or spell. The theme for the performance paper that I believe you all have was memories. As the submissions came in, we were deeply moved. Many tears were shed in the office. And I always like to say the practice of looking at oneself and self-reflecting can be a practice in humility. For many of our students, they have spent time feeling like outsiders. As a person on the fringe, there can be a tendency to undervalue who you are. Among our students, I've never met so many people full of pride and creativity. Before we launch into the student readings, I'd like to talk briefly about America's history of literacy. Oh, I need my glasses. What we'd like to do is, for any person who comes into our program, when we do our intakes, we read all of the information. I will be reading all of the slides to everyone. So did you know, in 1840, the US Census Board first reported literacy data on reading and writing. 91.5% of the adult white population over the age of 20 were considered literate. However, as early as 1770, Thomas Jefferson drafted a Virginia Assembly bill that proposed a series of public schools be created for all free children, male and female, who would be taught reading, writing, and arithmetic at the exclusion of slaves. According to Joel Perlman of Bard College and Dennis Shirley of Boston College, they write, half the women born around 1730 were illiterate. Virtually all the women born around 1810 were literate. Historian Gloria L. Main writes, traditional female roles did not require literacy. As I read these stats, my first thoughts were, well, what determines literacy, right? The stats are amazing considered where we are today. In the 91.5%, how many of those people were landowners? My guess is there were large facets of that particular group who weren't rich and therefore not counted in that percentage. Enslaved and sometimes freed Black Americans were prohibited from learning to read and write. These anti-literacy laws were in effect from 1740 until 1867. After the Civil War, many emancipated Black established schools. Between 1864 and 1876, 630 schools, Southern Black schools, were damaged or destroyed. Now, many of us may have learned this information in school, but I didn't know that there were so many schools that were destroyed. Children who had access to school would go around planting season. If the farmer wanted them to stay and pick, they weren't allowed to go to school. Sadly enough, by 1950, many of the schools in the South were sorely underfunded and understaffed. Well, as they are today in larger cities and in the rural South. As I was researching literacy rates, I found it interesting that there was so little information about immigrants, how they learned English upon their arrival. What I discovered was Germans had wonderful schools and were taught American history in both English and German. Nordic individuals also had access to great libraries and schools. More often than not, other cultural groups learned by immersion from family members who were already here and loosely at school. Many young immigrant girls worked in factories and didn't attend school. Some young men worked with their parents. One of the passages I read, it said, some teachers would just speak English at the students, regardless if they understood or not. The PIAAC, it's the Program for the International Assessment of Adult Competencies, also known as the Survey of Adult Skills. This organization collects data from individuals that are 16 to 74 here in the US and 16 to 65 in other countries, and the data is based on key cognitive and workplace skills. The survey is designed to assess and compare other adult skills in participating countries. The broad skills test range from reading simple passages to more complex problem-solving skills. So the information here is pulled from this survey. 4 in 5 adults have English literacy skills sufficient to complete tasks that require comparing and contrasting information or making low-level inferences, literacy skills at level 2 or above in the PIAAC. In contrast, 1 in 5 US adults, 21%, has difficulty in completing these tasks. This translates into 43 million US adults who possess low literacy skills. The adults who were unable to participate are categorized as having low English literacy skills, as is done in international reports, although no direct assessment of their skills is available. So that's where we are right now in the US. How does this impact us? This is Albuquerque. Does low literacy affect our community? When an adult can't read or comprehend what they've read, the chances of getting a job, or a relatively decent one, is difficult. The result, a city with higher than usual unemployment rates, which is the yellow in the corner. If a person lacks literacy skills, has no job, then they might have a tendency to make money doing things that require no literacy skills. Result, higher levels of crime. Without an educated workforce, there are fewer businesses that pay higher wages. Result, lower median income. If you can't read, do you know how much medicine you should take? Can you read aftercare summaries from the hospital? Result, a community where there are higher cases of preventable diseases. Does low literacy affect our community? Our takeaway: equitable access to education in this country has, in some cases, created intergenerational literacy gaps that we still see today. The effects have paralyzed many in our community, making it difficult for them to get jobs and keep them. More importantly, certain companies won't come to our community, and they won't find our community as attractive to bring their businesses. Educated workers equals financially stable communities. Parents that read have kids that read. Investing in adult literacy is an investment in workforce development. This was the fun part of putting this together. Now presenting our student performers. Today's performers are courageous for many reasons, but there are those who have shown up to read in front of you today. They deserve a little extra acknowledgement. Public reading is not easy, especially if you're sharing a newly learned skill that you're not entirely comfortable using. For those who are feeling wary about displaying their new words live, some of us sent an audio or a video. Some folks allowed us to share their stories or poems, but they weren't comfortable being on display. For those individuals, one of the staff will read their pieces. I'd like to introduce you to our first performer. Early is a second-year basic literacy student. He is a man who truly has a new lens of the world to look through. Early is a passionate learner who didn't get a chance to experience traditional school like most of us in this room. Early was being tutored by our founder, Margaret Barker. Here's what she'd like to share. I've had many roles in adult literacy in the past 23 years. For me, one of the most joyful has been working with Early. He is curious, dedicated, coming to lessons at 6:15 in the morning, and passionate about learning to read. We've worked together a little over a year. In that time, he has improved his reading by 4 grade levels. He was a reluctant writer. Now he sees writing as a way to tell his life story. As with the best partnerships, Early has taught me as I've taught him. Early, would you like to come up, please? Do you want to check this first?
Yes, that's good.
It's good? Okay, here you go.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I have to thank Miss Margaret, my tutor, to bring me this far. When I start, I couldn't even scramble the first word, and now I can. Okay. When I was young, my mother has a single parent. She has 7 children. She has 4 boys and 3 girls. I am the 5th of 7 children. I never got the chance to go to school when I was young. I started to work at the age of 9. I cut and plant sugarcane. I also dig yam hill when I was a young man.
This is your time.
Yes, and I have to give thanks to all of the organization, all of the volunteers, and I have to give thanks to the founder, Miss Margaret again, my tutor. She's so much patient with me, and she carried me from 0 level to 4 level at the moment. Thank you all.
You know, that is one of the things I love about our organization is not only are the lessons custom designed, I'd like to say, it's also the meeting time. So when Early first came to the program and he said he had to meet early, we were like, who are we going to get to work with him? And so the staff and I, we were talking, and I said, Margaret, let's have Margaret work with him, because Margaret has been doing this for so long and she is so good at what she does, but also she's up so early in the morning. So it was an amazing partnership. And as you can see, don't even make me, because I'll start crying, because I'm that lady. But it's a simple and beautiful and powerful piece, Early. And thank you so much, and thank you, Early's family, for supporting him. Thank you. Our next performer, she has sent us an audio tape. She is a 3rd-year ESL student, Rosalia. For 2 years, she worked remotely with a tutor in California. We had acquired a number of tutors across the country who were looking for a remote volunteer gig during COVID, and luckily we were able to match the 2 of them. In this time, her vocabulary has improved tremendously. She's learned idioms. My favorite note was that she overheard a conversation in English in a nail salon and understood it. She has since been matched with an in-person tutor, and she's working in a group. Here's what her current tutor, Tamara, wanted to share with us. It has been a pleasure to work with Rosalia. She is eager to learn something new each week, and she uses her communication skills in her home daycare and with her neighbors. She is curious and wants to know more about the world around her. I would like to acknowledge Rosalia's commitment and progress. This is Rosalia's piece.
My first job in the United States was on September 11, 2001. The place where I worked was in the FedEx office. At that time, my English was very poor and I didn't understand what happened when the people watched TV in the office and their faces showed sadness and worry. After that day, everything changed. When I arrived at work, there were police officers at the entrance to the building, and this was very stressful.
Um, I this piece touched me very deeply. I was in New York City on September 11th, and yeah, so I got home that day after a 7-hour walk, and then I was called later that night by my boss, and I was told I had to be back to work the next day. And so, since my normal train route from Brooklyn to Manhattan was no longer accessible, I had to take multiple buses to get from Brooklyn to the Upper East Side. So I completely understand how she was feeling that day. So thank you, Rosalie. I wish you were here. Our next reader is new to Ethos. Virginia is a first-year ESL student who was just matched in March. She comes to us with an associate's degree in psychology, but desires to improve her English speaking skills. She is in a small group with another tutor, and another student, and they meet at the International District Library. I'm going to, is Virginia here? Virginia, hi, come up here. Come up here and read your piece. Look at this, Romerito Smolder.
Yeah, Romerito.
Mm-hmm. You're good. You got this.
Okay, this is my first time. And okay. This is the best memory for me. One of my memories is sharing beloved family events, Christmas and New Year's. There are many of you in the family. Unfortunately, many of them are no longer with you because they have moved on to better life or because they live in different places. Oh my goodness.
You're doing great.
Okay.
Virginia, you take as much time as you want. We're not going to go anywhere. Okay? And if you want me to read something, we can read it together if you'd like, whatever you want. That's okay. That's okay. Do you want me to read it? Okay. Okay. Do you want to stand up here or do you want to sit down? You're good. Okay. I'll stand. Okay.
They are continuing to be fun every time they take place. Remember all but very old memories. Occasion for laughing a lot on Michael Fontaine. Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
Contain the tears of joy, pain on my stomach. Prepare other surprise that I got. I don't mention it in her here. I have lived here Albuquerque for many years. Although I celebrate Remember and love a lot. Present of your loved ones is always important. Also, during Holy Week, although they are in honor of the death and resurrection of Christ. I miss their food and that's representative and this time. For example, the Roberitos de Mole, the sheer penquis, the green poblano chile with cheese, the tuna, and much more. I want to clarify that I no longer go to any church, but my faith still stands, and appreciate the space for allowing me to share a little of myself, memory, and family. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you were so good. Thank you, Virginia. So, I put all these slides together, and in Virginia's piece, when she mentioned the food, I was like, Lord, help me. And the staff will tell you I spent a very long time looking up pictures. And so I just want you to know this is the Romeritos de Mole with shrimp. And I can't wait to try it. Virginia, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you're in the program. Thank you. Our next reader is also new to the program, and she is Virginia's classmate. Azucena joined Ethos in January, and she too has a desire to improve her English speaking skills. For those of us who speak English fluently, we forget the power of words and how they help people to see who we are. Well, this little group in the International District has talent and they can grasp the English language unlike most people. Their tutor, Donna, said that these ladies have been working on, they've been working on grammar and are more comfortable with the concepts of pronouns and verbs, etc. And as I read the individual pieces, I can see what Donna was talking about. So once again, thank you, Donna. And Azucena, are you here? Come on up. These are your mountains in Mexico.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. There you go.
Hi, I am Azucena, and I need to start. Okay, I am from Mexico. It has a beautiful culture. The people are very helpful and friendly. When you live in Mexico, it is a complete party. We always have reason to celebrate. There is everything from national holidays to birthdays, baby showers, quinceañera, and weddings, and cannot live aside the party after the wedding or after the quinceañeras. The national holidays are beautiful. They have parades with children of different age. At the end, they have shadow parties, and at night, there are fairs and Mexican food and many sweets that you can enjoy. I miss living in Mexico because the family always look for time to be together. Thank you very much.
Did you want anything? Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Thank you, Dana. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. It's a pleasure having you here. So one of the things we like to tell our students is they never have to leave the program. We find that when a student decides on a goal and they achieve the goal, if they want to keep learning more, as long as they show up to their lessons, they do the work, they communicate with us, they can stay, they create another goal. So what I noticed as I was putting this together is many of the students we have are new students to the program, because we had students who were here for like 6 and 7 years and they just finally left. They just finally left. The next piece, the next reader is a new basic literacy student. He is a gifted writer and wants to improve his writing skills. He started in our creative writing group and is now working one-on-one with a tutor. He has published many stories in our newspaper, and when asked what to submit for the year end, our program director said, "One of your poems." Stephen, his tutor, wanted to say this: "I have thoroughly enjoyed working with my student over the past 4 months. In addition to trying to improve his literacy, he's taking care of an ailing mother who requires around-the-clock attention. While he began tutoring with some reading and writing skills, he has greatly improved his comprehension and ability to write more complex sentences. Through his hard work in our sessions and in taking college preparatory classes, he has shown an immense desire to learn, grow, and fulfill his desire to graduate with a master's in artificial intelligence. He is well on his way to his goal."
The cycle of nature and life, as we are born as beautiful children like a gorgeous storm forming, our lives filled with bright and amazing color. We see for the first time, you see the storm forming in the far distance with the exquisite blue sky, white, purple, bluish, gray, and black clouds, the fresh scent of the rain, magnificent storm approaching with all its beauty. You know the storm's going to be bad. Our lives feel like walking towards those dark clouds in the sky. The stress hits as if a lightning bolt strikes you. Walking through the muddy, wet fields, you see the house lights. You have a sense of hope to get out of the storm. As you're making haste to the light, the sun shines on you through the clouds. Now you know you will make it through the storm and chaos of life. As the heavenly blue sky and the bright, warm feeling of the sun on your face, you conquered the storm.
It's always so interesting to me where our students come from, where they've been referred from, what they need help with. We have had many students in the past who have been, taking advanced classes at CNM. We've had students from UNM. All of these students, though, for whatever reason, came to us for a specific purpose. So some of our students from UNM wanted pronunciation help, and they wanted to sound more American. So we would work with them, in that respect. There were others who were going to CNM and they couldn't get into a writing class, or they were in a writing class and still needed help with writing. So they would come to our program and we would give them a tutor, and then their tutor would go through the lessons that they were getting from the school, and then they would sit and work it out together. So we do a little bit of everything, and it's very hard to say, well, this is where adult literacy starts and this is where it stops, because it's all encompassing. That piece, he's such a wonderful writer, this student, and I'm so grateful that he's in the program. I wish he were here. His tutor is here, so thank you, Stephen. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Thank you, Stephen. Okay, you guys get ready. So our next reader, performer, came to us as a math student. Little did we know, she is not only gifted with numbers, but she is an incredibly articulate poet. Here's what her tutor, Yvonne, has to say. Amaris continues to show the same dedication and perseverance that I've never seen since we started working together. That I've seen since we've started working together. Maybe I should put my glasses back on. But what has changed is that her skill level has grown as she tackles each new aspect of math, and hopefully her comfort level has grown too. We need to appreciate the fact that Amaris and everyone else seeking their high school equivalency is having to absorb and retain at least 4 years of math in a very short period of time. And instead of an hour of instruction every day, such as what those in school receive, she gets only 2 hours a week at best. In high school, an entire year is dedicated to one type of math, such as algebra or geometry. But for Amaris and those like her, this is a luxury of time they can ill afford. Isodi, I know you said write a few words, but it's hard to be brief and showing my admiration for this student. The last thing I'd like to say about Amaris is that having her read her moving poem about memories of childhood, I can see that beyond her personal strength and courage lies a beautiful soul. Amaris, would you like to come up? Would you like to? You are coming up. Here you go, darling. You ready?
No.
Okay, that's okay. You got this. You're an old pro. You got your old. I got a copy too.
Trying to get it open.
Okay.
Oh my god. Do I just start reading or? Childhood. I am the forgotten smell of summer storms in your childhood memories. I am the ambient background air conditioning late at night while child like you lay awake. I am the aquatic plants and fish who swam amongst the tanks during a late night visit to Walmart. I am the ladybugs who swarmed weeds in a hot month of July. I am the static-filled touch you felt when pressing your cheek against the TV. I am the long-lost tunes and joyful sounds that lullabied your restless eyes from colorful cartoons. I am shared whispers and giggles from children's gossip as you ran amongst the playground with cousins. I am the smell of the river and mud, the sweat from your uncle's brow as he once again unties your fishing line. I am the scent of cleaning utilities in a brightly lit urgent care as you somewhat enjoy your day off from elementary school. I am the sparkly bright Princess Hills you never took off and ran in. I am the chalk-filled cement you scraped your knees on riding bikes. I am your forgotten childhood. You can come back to me, but nobody's here. The silence that lingers heavy within your matured mind as you gaze upon what I have brought to you. I am constantly dying and being reborn, creating new and different nostalgic memories for each child. What you may see now as a waste and nothing compared to my former self is a core memory for the young ones today, who in return shall grow old and ponder the same thoughts as you now. I am always with you. I am inside your dreams and imagination. As you grow old, all I wish for is for you to never snuff out the flames I have created inside you. Hold on to your childlike faith and creation, for we never truly grow old. We just make room for others to come within, embrace new lessons each day. Freaking out. Though I know it's painful, and sadly I've lost a few of you along the way, taken far from me, your souls have gone on to the next destination, your minds cradled within someone new. I am your childhood, never forget me, I am within all of you. I watched as you made your way down that path of life, leaving me behind at the starting point, and yes, I cried, but ones of joy and excitement, for I had done my part. Hold on to the child inside of you, because you're all still the same small children I had watched over, my creations in which you swam in. I am the smell of pool cleaner that stung your eyes red as you attempted seeing underwater. I am the bees that stung you whilst you poked at the nest. I am that familiar bird singing away a distinct sound only your soul remembered from way back. and yet I no longer exist. I am your childhood.
That's good. They keep getting better. Do you want to say anything to your tutor?
I would like to thank Ivan for constantly understanding even when I can't make it to tutoring, always being there to uplift me and reminding me that I can do it even if I get it wrong, and I'm just really grateful for her. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want your copy, honey? And she came to us for math. Oh, the hidden talent. Amaris, you continue to dazzle us with your keen observations about life. You are an old soul who seems to have been here before. I hope you understand how important your writing is and never stop. People need to hear you. The next performer is an all-around eclectic woman. Like many of our students, she underestimates her reading skills, but came to us to be a better reader and maybe gain some confidence. She is a first-year student and has shown incredible gains in a short period of time. This is what her tutor, Jeff, has to say. I have been working with Sarah since December 2023. Sarah is a joy to work with. I feel lucky to have her as my student in the Ethos program. Sarah is a diligent and hardworking student. More important, she is a delightful and wonderful person. I have thoroughly enjoyed working with Sarah, and I look forward to working with her in the future. Here's Sarah's video.
This is a story about Munchie. Munchie was a little baby rabbit, which my granddaughter found in her garden one morning when she went outside to water her garden. That's when she saw a little baby rabbit. At first, little Munchie was afraid of her, so she bought a little bowl of water out for Munchie every day. 3 times a day. She would try to feed Munchie vegetables, but all Munchie wanted was to eat the weeds growing in the garden. Munchie would munch on weeds every morning. Munchie would munch on weeds in the evening and just before bedtime. Weeds, weeds, and more weeds. Munchie began to warm up to Shanae. Shanae is my granddaughter. Munchie lived under our shed all summer. Munchie came out every morning to eat weeds, and more weeds. This is how Munchie got the name Munchie. Munchie came out from under the shed. When Shanae called Munchie, Munchie's ears would perk up. Munchie was so happy to be Shanae's friend. Munchie would come out from under the shed every morning to greet Shanae. Munchie would hop around the garden, so happy and content. One day, Shanae did not see Munchie. She got so worried because she thought something had got her little Munchie. She was so sad. One morning, Shanae got up to water her garden. Guess what? There was Munchie munching on weeds. Now, Munchie began to grow up. Munchie had found new friends and a new family. The last time Shanae saw Munchie, she knew Munchie was happy with his new family.
Weeds and more weeds and more weeds. Munchie wasn't having any vegetables. Oh my goodness, we in the office loved this story, and we would read it over and over and laugh. I can't tell you, putting together this slide actually was one of my favorites. It was deep inspiration. I don't know if any of you know about creating slides, but I got on a roll and I couldn't stop. So we are so happy you came to our program, Sarah, and we were gifted with your delightful and loving memory. Thank you so much. Our next performer came to our program mainly to improve her writing skills, but with a little bit of everything else thrown in. She was matched with her tutor in May of 2023, and since then her writing skills have improved. She has a better grasp on grammar and punctuation. Reading comprehension, fluency, and accuracy has also increased. Her tutor, Mary, writes, "It has been a pleasure working with my student during the past year. I believe that we have both grown and learned a lot during this time. My student has always been a very eager and engaged student. She now reads with much more confidence, accuracy, and fluency. In short, she has been so nice to work with, and I'm grateful to Ethos for the opportunity to continue to be her tutor." Here is our next student slide.
One of my many memories is when I became a grandmother for the first time. I was so happy and filled with so much joy to be having my first grandson. The day my granddaughter was born was a beautiful blessing because I got to see her first, and will cherish it for life. Seeing my grandson playing his leapfrog guitar his mom got him for Christmas was cool, real cool. The best memories from my childhood are when I would play with my big dollhouse and lay outside with my family and watch the stars in the sky. And even watch my siblings play on their green machine, also called a big wheel. I also enjoyed fishing and swimming by the lake and going to Six Flags.
This piece made me think so much of summer right now, and I'm from the East Coast, so there is so much grass at my parents' house, and just being able to sprawl out on the yard and that cool grass and stare at the sky, that's all I was envisioning the entire time. So I want to thank this student for giving me such a beautiful memory, because this little green machine here, this little big wheel, I had one. I don't know if you can see it, but I wore the tires out, the plastic tires out on that thing. I put holes in them. So her childhood was my childhood, essentially. And I want to thank them both. Let's see. The next student is a math student who was referred to our program from C&M. She's been working on getting her GED but needed additional math help. Once in the program, she joined our creative writing class and attended a poetry workshop. We didn't know this student had such a love of writing. Currently, this student is on our inactive list. She's faced many hardships and yet did whatever it took to attend her classes. A few times she was homeless and attended class via her phone and a tent. She is the personification of dedication. Our doors are always open to her whenever she's ready to return. Here is what her math tutor, Meg had to say. This student has been such a dedicated and motivated student this year. Her perseverance when times get tough and it's easy to quit can be an inspiration to us all. I'm constantly impressed by her desire to keep learning and push herself beyond our lessons to understand and master challenging topics. Our staff member, Meg, is going to read the poem the student submitted for our newspaper.
You're going to say what?
Sodi asked me to read this, but I also, whenever I think of this student, get emotional. I'm just so inspired by her strength and resilience, so I will try to read her piece without crying. This is called Sammy's Poem. From the moment I first held you, I immediately felt a connection, a bond between you and I that no one will understand. As I got to hear you cry for the first time, tears slowly fell down my cheeks with excitement and happiness. From that day, I knew that I have unconditional love and will always protect you and keep you safe. As the days and time pass by, I will forever be by your side and pick you up when you scrape your knees and wipe the tears from your eyes. As Mommy was going through hard times and struggling,
Thanksgiving dinner.
Mommy would stop and think of her beautiful daughter and her handsome twin boys. Seeing pictures of you and your brothers was my motivation to keep going and head on with my struggles. Keeping my head up and being positive is what I'll keep doing. Because, my sweet angels, my motivation is that I will stand strong, go face the struggles, and make it in life. I love you, my perfect little sweet angels, always and forever.
Thank you, Meg. Whew. Yeah, thank you, Meg. I think our student will have loved the way you read her poem. Our next student, we've had the pleasure of working with this person for the last 2 years. Flora is a basic literacy student who initially came to the program to improve her literacy skills to gain more independence. All I can say is leaps and bounds. She has outshined herself in many ways and keeps getting better. Here's what her tutor, Suzanne, had to say. Flora has increased her reading skills this year, which has allowed her to check out Little House on the Prairie, the longest book she has read to date. For the first time, Flora wrote a poem, participated in a Zoom call, wrote and sent an email, and visited the Albuquerque Museum. During this year, Flora has taught me that it's never too late to pursue a dream and that kindness is a superpower. This is Flora's video.
Thanksgiving dinner with Dad. When I was 17 years old, I went to a Thanksgiving dinner with my dad. I was nearly married and my husband was with me. My mom and 2 sisters were there too. This was my first Thanksgiving dinner as a married woman. My dad was blind. He got schooling and help from the New Mexico School for the Blind. The New Mexico School for the Blind gave the Thanksgiving dinner for the families. My dad smiled because his family was with him. He loved eating apple pie and pumpkin pie. The apple pie was his favorite. On the Thanksgiving dinner we had some turkey and mashed potatoes with brown gravy and some green beans and cranberry sauce, and a dinner roll, and even some salad. We had some lemonade to drink. We all had pumpkin pie for dessert. We had a great time. My dad had a glorious, precious time. He was so happy because all his family was with him. It was such a blessing to me and my family. It's a lovely memory of my dad.
So one of the fun things about Flora's piece is Flora presented last year, and I did a video for her last year. So I was comparing her video from last year to this year. Whoa, Flora, your reading fluency, your accuracy you are so calm now, and you have control over the words. And I think, Cindy, were you in the office with me? I was like, did you see Flora's video? It's amazing. She looks great. So Flora is in the audience if you guys want to just give her a round of applause. You've made us all proud, Flora. Thank you so much for joining our program. The next reader, this ambitious performer has come to our program to improve her pronunciation skills as a way to help with nursing school and to be better understood and also understand what others might be implying. Right? Hey. She was recently matched with her tutor, Catherine. Here are some thoughts Catherine wanted to share. Monica is a very ambitious woman, and I say ambitious in the best sense of the word. After raising 4 children, she now wants to get a degree in nursing. I admire her tenacity as she has taken the plunge into learning new levels of vocabulary, grammar, reading, and speaking, all while maintaining a refreshing sense of humor, which is something we both share. Monica, I know you will succeed in everything you set your heart and mind to, and I want you to know that I am rooting for you as one of your most ardent supporters. Monica, would you like to come up and read your piece?
Hello. My name is Monica, as you all know. I went to Jamaica as a child on vacation. It was one of the best vacations I have ever had. When I saw the beaches, it was a dream come true. The water was blue and clean. I got to eat freshly cooked food. The local merchants caught fish and lobsters from the sea and cooked them for the tourists. My eyes were bigger than my stomach. I chose the biggest lobster that was in the container. My mom told me, if you don't finish that big lobster, you will be swimming in the sea with the rest of the creatures. I sure did not finish, but you can figure out the rest. I'm still here. I got to play around all day with the animals and even milk the goats. It was so much fun, and I love that vacation. Jamaica, here I come again.
A lobster here. I don't know if you can see it. I was like, lobsters don't come out of the water, do they? Well, this one did. Thank you so. You are a wonderful presenter. Yeah, that was great. Wow. Everyone actually has done an amazing job presenting. No fear at all. Oh, yes, and Monica, we indeed all understood what happened after you didn't finish that lobster, and we're thrilled that you're here. Our final reader is a new addition to the program as well. She has a 4-year degree, but wants to work on improving her speaking skills. Cynthia is in a group with another student, and they've been meeting remotely for the last 2 months. Here's what her tutor has to say. Tutoring brings much joy to my heart. I have enjoyed watching both my students grow in confidence and fluency in speaking, reading, and understanding English. Cynthia is working on her TEFL requirements. These women are intelligent, talented, and diligent. I'm extremely proud of them. This is Cynthia's video.
Keep your happiest memories and return to them always. Family is the most important part of everyone's lives. They are the biggest support system for us to grow up and build our own identity. There are many configurations for what a family could be. My family consists of my husband Flavio, my son Rodrigo, our 2 lovely cats, Linda and Brava, and me. But family can be your friends, uncles, grandparents, or those whom you choose to be part of your life. Family is a group that shares love, care, support, loyalty, and all the beautiful memories of everyday life. I wish I could record every second of my moments with my family. From seeing Rodrigo growing up as the most loving and happy baby that I know, to Flavio being a wonderful husband and a father way better than I could ever wish for to Rodrigo. One memory that I want to keep is when Rodrigo observes us doing some gestures like a weird dance just to make him laugh, and then he starts to do the same thing with a smile on his face. Then Flavio and I look at each other with a face that says, "Could you believe that he did that?" He's a little baby sponge. And we all laugh together. In these little moments, I have a deep feeling of gratitude. And I can assure you that in recording these moments, I can experience the same feeling again and again. To conclude, all that I want is to keep making family memories every day and returning to them always to remember what really matters in life. So, at the end of our journey, we do not regret it and have the certainty that we did our best.
Thank you, Cynthia. We wish we could have been here today. She had something else come up, and at the last moment, she recorded that, which it sounds like, and it's in a professional sound booth. I was like, wow, she sounds amazing. But the fact that she had this other engagement and was still able to get this to us, I was very, very thrilled. So our last piece is a collage poem. Back in March, we had a poetry workshop. That sounded weird. Workshop. Led by the former poet laureate of Madison, Wisconsin, Angela Trudell Vasquez. Ms. Vasquez earned an MFA in creative writing from the Institute of American Indian Arts. Finishing Line Press published her collections in Light, Always Light in May of 2019, and My People Redux in January of 2022. In 21, she attended the Maconda Writers Workshop started by Sandra Cisneros. She wrote The House on Mango Street. and became a fellow, also known as a Macundista. She is the current chair of the Wisconsin Poet Laureate Commission. Her work has appeared most recently in Yellow Medicine Review, Sheltering with Poems, In Other Words, Hope is the Thing, Poem a Day, and she can be found on her own website. In preparation for this workshop, we gave the tutors and students sensory poem templates to work with. On the day, 5 students, former and present, 3 tutors, and 2 staff gathered remotely and worked through a series of activities involving an ekphrastic poem. They were paired off, and each pair came up with a line for the following poem. Our student intake and curriculum coordinator, Alma Delgado, is reading the poem for us today.
I'm still standing, happy for life. There she was, standing upon the site of his grave. She questions his choices as she sits there in a conflicting state. You are my bright future. Oh, how I wish that everyone can hear and understand my pain behind my silent scream. Words are healing. The paper is my friend. I see myself coming from church. I was all smiles after taking care of the babies. Sometimes joy is a mask lifting.
Right? It's always so amazing when you have a professional who is able to work with a group, and Angie has worked with everybody. And when I had called her and asked her if she would be interested in doing this for us, she said, well, when do you want to do it? I would love to. And I was like, she's always so busy. But she immediately sent Cindy a message, came up with all of these ideas, and then a month or so passed, and then they had the workshop, and this is the result. And I was like, wow, can you come back? She's like, sure I can. So I want to thank Alma for reading it. Alma and Meg attended the workshop, and I believe a few of our students who are here today attended as well. That is the end of our presentation. We do have some student awards we would like to just give out. Usually we have much more ceremony, but given time limitations, etc., we wanted just to acknowledge the individuals who made gains this year. So our program director and tech person, Cindy, is going to be presenting the awards.
That's a big step at the end. I wasn't expecting that to be so deep. Oh, I wish we had time to have all our students come up and we could say some really cool things about them because they are cool. And anybody who knows me, this is the hardest part for me as I get super emotional. I'm so pleased with all these students, and I'm so happy to have had an opportunity to meet them and to, train tutors and to be a part of this organization and the opportunities that I see that our students are now having. So without further ado and without too much crying, I want to recognize Julie's ESL class for their best attendance, Momoda, Zara, and Yasmin. They attend all their lessons, they do all their homework. They're fantastic women, and I am so grateful to know them and to have been just a little part of this. Our next student is Kendrick. Kendrick's been with the organization for a little bit of time, and he is the most dedicated student this year, and I'm so happy to have him, and I've known him for quite some time now. Thank you, Kendrick. Lorena is our longest student in our program this year, and I don't think she's here, but she attends Eva's class, and once again, just wonderful people, and I'm just so happy to know them all. Yolanda has had the most growth. She got a new tutor and in a new group, and you just have seen her just blossom right before our eyes. And then Sarah is our most enthusiastic student this year. We heard her story on Munchie, and she's just such a kind woman. And it's so good to have all these students here and to be able to have the opportunity to recognize them and to give them a round of applause for all their hard work this year. Normally we do a student of the year, and we just couldn't pick who we wanted to be our student of the year, as all our students are awesome. So every one of our students are our students of the year this year. And yes, so they will all be getting a certificate and a pen, and yeah, so without further ado, I'll stop talking and we can move on.
So what we're going to do is for the first students that Cindy mentioned, Julie's class, Kendrick, etc. Your certificates are in the back. There's certificates and a medal for every other student who was a student of the year. There are certificates in the back for you all as well, and a pin. So at any point that you want to get your certificate and your pin or your medals, they're all in the back. For anyone who isn't here today, we will be mailing them. So yes. Let's see. This is is this mine?
It's mine.
Oh.
I need my copy so I can be tech person.
Oh, yeah. The last slide I love. So, folks, thank you for spending your afternoon with us. I'm so glad you all showed up, turned out. It was beautiful. We'll end with a little Ray Charles. I think the bar still might be serving some soda. Thank you once again. Have a beautiful weekend.